huge Sunbelt Baseball Showdown. The Louisiana Ragin Cajuns at the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Coastal Carolina's head coach, Gary Gilmore, helps us preview on Locked On Sunbelt.
You are Locked On Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Today's episode brought to you by Monopoly Go. I admit it, I have a competitive side, and it's a big fan of Monopoly Go, the mobile hit twist on classic Monopoly. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go now, free on the App Store or Google Play. How about that open? New snazzy open. All right, we like it. Great graphics and all. All right, I've been looking forward to this conversation. So thrilled Gary Gilmore could join us. Gilly's last dance, we talk about that. He's got some post-retirement plans, but we do talk about this year's Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. They are dealing with injuries. They started out with 20 home games to begin the season, been on the road for a minute, but a lot of their Sunbelt series do wrap up in Conway, South Carolina. We talk about coaching Blake Berthol, and we talk about this great matchup against the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. Let's get at it. He is the head coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. He is Gary Gilmore on Locked On Sunbelt. Dave Schultz back on another edition of Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. We got a huge baseball series this weekend in Conway, South Carolina. The high-flying Louisiana Ragin Cajuns in first place, taking on Coastal Carolina. And Gary Gilmore, Chanticleers. Coach Gilmore is kind enough to join us now. Let's ask the first and obvious question, Coach. How are you feeling these days?
I feel outstanding. It's a lot better after spending 7 hours plus on that bus last night to get a win. So it makes it go by a lot better.
Coastal Carolina coming off a huge win and move on. Had a 4-0 lead, score late in the 9th. And then I'm sure you had some deal with the concessionaires to load the bases up in the 9th. The closer just wanting to get some work in or something along those lines. And you get a strikeout with the bases loaded to hang on for a 5-4 win. Congratulations over North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. No, that's one of the better teams we played all year. I thought they're just looking at them and, they didn't disappoint at all. Their offense is probably one of the best ones they've had since back in the day when they had Ackley and Seager and all those guys that beat up on us back in the day.
All right, so I saw this on the website. Did you ask Michael Jordan? This is Gilly's last dance. Is that what we're going with?
I tell you what, man, give me a teal pair of Air Jordans. That's really special, I told him I'm pretty sure those shoes, if I wear them, I'll be able to make a comeback. I always
thought that, right?
Absolutely.
As a kid, new sneakers, I'm jumping faster and running, or jumping higher and running faster.
No doubt about it, 100%.
All right, so why don't you, recap the season? You guys are, having a little bit slow start in the Sun Belt, but had a nice schedule. You're up to as of Wednesday, 16th in the Warren Nolan RPI. That updates every as soon as the game's over. Tell us about the Chanticleer season thus far.
It's kind of been a little bit of a tale of two seasons. We played 20 home games to get going. We ended up being 17-3. And in all honesty, it wasn't like we just overwhelmed and dominated people. I think 4 or 5 of those games, we came back late in the game to find a way to win and things like that. And then we go off. We play a nail biter at NC State on the road, had a chance to win, just couldn't get it done. And we go to Appalachian State. We ultimately had, over the course of a week, we had 17 guys get that intestinal virus. And so we were we were really, even the guys that played, on Sunday at Appalachian and the guys that played the next weekend, we were, we were definitely not on top of our physical game.
Sure.
No excuses. Those heck, App took it to us, and somehow we found a way to win one of those games, and went to Monroe and won 2 out of 3. But again, felt like we were just trying to hang on, to be very honest with you. And I feel like we've kind of turned the corner in the physical part. So hopefully, we played a lot at home, and I feel like for the last, almost 3.5 to 4 weeks, it's been almost constant road games for the most part. And, with one home series in there. So, it'll be nice. I think 3 of our next 4 weeks on the weekends are at home, and hopefully that'll, play to an advantage for us. I hope we can continue to draw well. The opponents, should help us draw well. Everybody we're playing here the rest of the way out is very good, and all the schools are, nationally known. So I feel like we should definitely draw some decent crowds here and see if we can get on a roll again. And just see if we can get some things done. We got hopefully a couple of arms that have been out all year. Hopefully by Creighton, I can at least put them in a game and get an inning out of them and start building them back. That would be a massive shot in the arm for us.
So any nerves? 20 in a row to begin the season at home is a little different. Any nerves about, seeing what the team is made of when you go on the road? Because I know, coaches, a guy like Tony Robichaux was like, it's important to go on the road and see how these guys react, because chances are, you're going to be playing in a regional on the road or a super regional. Yeah. And, somewhere along the way, you're going to be down and you're going to need to come back when it's a, not the best of all conditions surrounding it.
Oh, 100%. I think, as much as you look at building culture and unity in your team, being able to go on the road where we're 24/7 around each other and everyone's having to, kind of give up how they do things and do things how we all do things. And, it's I totally understand and agree with what Tony felt, because I feel the same thing. It's, it's very important. It's part of the reason, if you can look at our schedules over the years, we've played a lot at home in the beginning. We played a lot on the road at the end and tried to, as best we could, to play more at home at the end, if we can control it between midweeks and weekends, just to create momentum and have positivity going into the end of the season. So, I think, I think this time on the road helped us. We lost some games and some things like that, but we've continued to evolve, and hopefully, this weekend. At the end of the day, you look between last night, the 3 this weekend. We go to Creighton, who's right at 30 wins, and we come home to Troy. Those sets of games right there is like 9 straight where you've got people anywhere from, the top single digits in the RPI to, I think the worst one's like 50, 47 or 50. So, we have opportunities, and at the end of the day, that you just, as a coach, all you can ask for is the opportunity. We have to go out and seize it and try to figure out how to accomplish something.
We're talking to Gary Gilmore, head coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, Lockdown Sunbelt, your team every day. Yeah, the worst RPI right now is the Cajuns at 53, and they're the hottest team. Coach, this Cajuns team has gone from 9-8, depending on what happens tonight against Southeastern, to 29-9. I have never seen anything like it to win. And this baseball's not meant to do this, but they've won, again, heading into this Southeastern game, 20 of 21 ball games. It's ridiculous.
Oh no, but they've done it the old-fashioned way. They've done it with pitching. College baseball has become such an offensive part of how you win and stuff, and pitching is more so trying to just simply contain teams and not beat yourself. What they're doing pitching wise is just like, it's might be the best in the entire country at this point in time. So, I know they're going to be a massive handful for us when they walk in here.
Let's take a time out. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Chanticleers head coach Gary Gilmore. He talks about, the best team doesn't always win. It's the team that's playing the best, and his all-everything second baseman, Blake Berthol. We'll do that right after I tell you about Monopoly Go and eBay Motors. We've all been there, either as a player or a fan. It's halftime and the scoreboard is not looking good. You're feeling low, not sure you or your team can pull out a win. That's when you dig deep. Dig deep. Lift your head up and say to yourself, time to get back in the game. pull off some bank heists, and take as much of my friends' money as I possibly can. That's right, the smash mobile hit game, Monopoly Go. Lets you compete with your friends to get the most riches and biggest empire. It's the Monopoly you love, but on your phone, anytime, with tons of new twists, including leaderboards to compare your progress to your buddies. There's so much to do. Play on countless dynamic Monopoly boards. Make your friends bankrupt by smashing their landmarks with a wrecking ball and charge other players for rent for your iconic properties. You can even work with your friends to crack open community chests and in tournaments to get extra rewards and climb the leaderboard. So get back out there. Put your game face on and download Monopoly Go now, free on the App Store or Google Play. And eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit. Only available to U.S. customers. All right, Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt, your team every day. Let's continue our conversation with Gary Gilmore, the head coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Talks to us about how do you know if your hitting is doing well or if it's just bad pitching. And he talks about his all-everything second baseman, Blake Berthol. So we'll get to that showdown in a little bit. So let's take it the opposite way, because I had this but question, I guess, because the Cajuns pitching was outstanding against Marshall, but not the most potent of all offensive teams. So when you and your potent offense takes out not the most potent pitching staff, how do you determine that our hitting was good, but we, benefited from not the best of all pitching? How do you, as a coach, how do you see that when, all right, it was good hitting, but it wasn't great pitching? How do you determine, if you guys are hitting the ball well or just benefiting from not great pitching?
I'll be honest with you, Dave. I really don't. Hope you appreciate this. I really don't care as long as we score one. We can pitch great. It doesn't do good to pitch great and lose. We pitch good enough to win. Find a way to score enough runs to win. I mean, it's one of the things that we preach here. You go into every game. It's not necessarily on a piece of paper the team that has the most talent. It's the team that plays the best, and I mean we rode that philosophy to a national championship. I mean, heck, we were coming back home last night on the bus, and one of the guys who was pitching for the Diamondbacks comes in the game, and my assistant looks at me, he goes, "You remember this guy?" I said, "I know the name." I said, "I just can't remember." He goes, he started game 2 of the championship series for Arizona. He goes, "This dude's in the big leagues pitching now." So, I mean, at the end of the day, everything's relative. It's just about, the RPI doesn't care whether you hit great or pitch great or whatever. It just cares whether you win or lose. And I mean, for us, we've just got to figure out, how to do everything we can to, to not give them easy offense in any ways. And we're going to have to really, we're going to have to be on top of our game as far as grinding out at-bats every single guy on the team. And, I mean, it'll be, it'll be an interesting time here. I can remember a few years ago when Tony was, when we first got in the league and they came here, and we ended up going 1-1-1. And it was, I'm telling you, when we got done with that weekend, heck, man, I could have took a week off. I mean, it was, it was as emotional. I mean, every single pitch, it was incredible. Mm-hmm. And heck, the game we tied went like 14 innings, and we had to stop it because of the plane flight thing. So, I don't expect anything less from Matt's team. I mean, holy cow, he's such a great competitor, and I know 1,000% what type of competitiveness is going to take to compete with those guys. And like I said, they got it going. So I mean, I don't feel like we've ever stopped having it going. We just we had a bump in the road, and 2 or 3 weeks ago. I feel like we're kind of finally coming out of it. So for us, it's probably a good time to kind of see, can we really amp it up again, and really get in there and compete and see how our offense competes against one of the best pitching staffs in the country.
Talking to Gary Gilmore, the head coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. And so you talked about it's not always the best team, but it's the team that's playing the best. I think Tony thought that way as well. But I think baseball is more fluky in that way, because usually, not always obviously, but usually, the more physical team or athletic team wins when it comes to like football or basketball. Whereas baseball is much more fluky, where you can line out, hit the ball hard 4 times and line out, but you can get a little flare and it falls in for a bloop double. So you can make a really good pitch and end up having a bad result.
No, you're 100% right, Dave. It's a it's a game that can drive a sane man into a nut house, to be honest with you. I mean, it's like, you're 100% right. You can do everything right, and something negative comes out of it. And, it's how you deal with it and overcome it, and just keep finding ways to move forward. And, I think the hardest thing for coaches and players is, the second that it's over. You can't go back and replay the play or the pitch or the this or that. I mean, you just have to keep moving forward. And, I expect both these teams to, be mentally tough, in this battle this weekend. And, we'll just see. Hopefully when all the dust clears at the end of the year, both of us are looking around, and, we're both in a position where, we have a chance to continue to play at the end.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We're talking to Gary Gilmore, head coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. So basically, I'm sure there are others, but right now it appears that your Blake Berthol is, going head to head with the Cajuns, Kyle DeBarge, for the Sun Belt Player of the Year. What's it been like coaching Blake Berthol?
That young man he is a special young man. He maturity wise, way beyond his years, and I just can't say enough great things about him. He's improved significantly defensively. He was a good player for us. We had the All-American kid that transferred in here last year, the Peyton Eels kid that was so good last year, and really Eelsy's main spot was second base. So Blake moved over to third last year and had never really played it much, and ended up being a very good third baseman for us. But when the Eels left for pro ball at the end of the year, we were able to move Blake over there, and he's really kind of found a home at second base. I think that's ultimately where he really belongs. And and offensively, he's he's not the biggest guy in the world, but I tell you what, he has the ability to put the barrel on the ball, and he gets on cycles, Dave, where every single time up, he has a chance to hit a home run, and then he'll go through some periods, like about all great home run hitters, he'll go through some periods where it's more doubles and singles, and then heck, eventually he'll get on another tear and and hit us a few home runs to boot. But no, he's been steady Eddie since day one.
Now I've seen this happen. We back in back where I was watching pro ball, I saw a second baseman struggle and they moved him over to third. So this goes along the lines of what you're saying. The next play, a lot of times at third base, the ball catches you. You don't have any time. You don't have any time to think. So if you don't make the play next, because hopefully you knock it down and hopefully you don't get hit in the face. So was that something that he had to overcome? Because he, at second base, you can think about it a little bit, and sometimes you have to judge it. Do I have to charge it? Do I, make the high hop, take the short hop, whatever the case may be? But at third, there's no time for decision. There's only time for reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously turning the pivot at second base is a key part of being a second baseman. But the playing third, it's kind of like almost like being a hockey goalie, basically. I mean, you're a step left, a step right, a dive, or this or that. But then I think people forget. To me, I think one of the harder plays for a third baseman is anything where they're having to come full speed toward home plate on a bunt or slow roller and make that crossfire 90-degree throw across their body, running in an opposite direction. And for him, a lot of guys struggle with that play. And, Blake learned to really be good at it. And I really think it helped him develop his ability to play second, his ability to come flying in, actually on the infield grass and throw across his body to first base, running full speed. I think it's helped his pivot around second as well. So, I think it, in a roundabout way, has actually made him a better defender.
All right, let's take one more time out. When we come back, we'll wrap up our conversation with Coastal Carolina's Gary Gilmore. Talks about the Sun Belt and how good it is and that it's more than a one-bid league, although there is no less pressure trying to win the Sun Belt Conference tournament. He talks about what he's going to do post-career. He's been coaching 39 years, and he gives a little preview of the pitching for this weekend for the Chanticleers. We'll do that right after I tell you about Gametime and Lafayette Travel. Gametime is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the lowest price guaranteed, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets. Last-minute deals can save up to 60% off buying last minutes for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals and on-select seats ahead of the game or event. Plus, you get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy, and they have this lowest price guaranteed, or Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Plus, Gametime ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticket industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, LOCKEDONCollege, for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And Lafayette Travel. Escape to Lafayette, Louisiana, the happiest city in America, where every visit is uniquely seasoned with unforgettable experiences. Savor world-class cuisine, including mouth-watering boudin, savory gumbo, and piping hot crawfish, seasoned to perfection. Experience lively festivals that celebrate Lafayette's one-of-a-kind heritage. Explore magnificent trails that lead you through our rich cultural history and breathtaking natural beauty. Discover the untouched purity of our cypress and Tupelo swamps, where you can pedal past nesting birds and sunbathing alligators. Immerse yourself in the vibrant rhythms of Cajun and Zydeco music that can be heard any night of the week. Whether your passion is for their rich cultural history, the bustling culinary scene, or the distinctive blend of Cajun and Zydeco music, the happiest city in America has something for everyone. Start planning your adventure at LafayetteTravel.com/seasoned. Don't forget, Festival International next weekend here in Lafayette, Louisiana. All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Let's wrap up our conversation with the head coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. He'll tell us his pitching rotation for the weekend. We go over how good the Sunbelt is, and it is Gilly's last dance. He tells us what is planned post-coaching career. 39 years of coaching college baseball, hanging him up after the season. Let's get back to it. He's the head coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. He's Gary Gilmore on Locked On Sunbelt. All right, a couple more questions for Gary Gilmore, the head coach of the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. So the big difference between, baseball, especially in the Sunbelt and the other sports, is it's not a one-bid league, right? James Madison has a top 30 RPI. You guys have a top 20 RPI. The Cajuns, are heading in that direction because the competition is getting better. How much less pressure is there on you to where, you don't have to go into the last weekend knowing that's the whole season, right? Whereas in basketball, you can have a great year like App State did and have one bad day and it's over.
Yeah.
Whereas, most likely, maybe even Southern Miss too. JMU, Southern Miss, the Cajuns and Coastal don't have to go into that Sun Belt Conference tournament knowing we have to win it to get in. They most likely will. How much easier is that as a baseball coach?
I think you'd probably get the same answer from every one of us if you had us all alive. I mean, hey man, we're competitors. We every game's important. Every game is life and death, so to speak. I mean, again, is it? Do you realize that because of the competition, you might lose a few more games than if you were in a different league and lesser competition? Absolutely. I mean, it just, but I mean, the wanting to and the drive to still try to play as close to perfect as you possibly can. I know all of us strive for that. So, it's not something to go into, well, hey, if we win one this weekend, we'll still be okay. This, not whatever. I don't even, as far as I'm concerned, we don't even have a game Saturday and Sunday. We only have one game. We have a game on Friday, and that's the game we got to try to figure out how to win. And, we go from there. But, I get what you're getting at. It's a league where, reality tells you, anytime you win, when you look back at the end of a season, if you've won 2 out of every 3 games across the board for the whole season, you've done a hell of a job. You really have. And I tip my hat. I mean, the entire league. Again, this is my last go round, but just in the short 7-8 years we've been in this league, seeing the improvements in facilities and improvements in things that are going on in the Sun Belt across the board, the teams that they have brought into the league. I mean, it's just it's a premier. I think somebody was saying, one of the announcers was telling me last night, our league right now is the 4th highest RPI league in the country, and
right.
That's a testament to every single coach and university in this league that somebody. There's going to be another Sun Belt team get to Omaha with a chance to win a national championship at some point in time here very soon.
All right, for those who don't know, we were kind of alluding to it. This is Gary Gilmore's last season. It is Gilly's last dance. So what are the plans post coaching career? What do we got going? I know Scott Barry is like, yeah, I'll be hunting fishing, although he still is around the Southern Miss program.
He's already invited me down, so I've got Dave, I have 4 little grandsons, 10, 5, 4, and 18 months. So I'm going to, God willing, my health is good. I'm going to spend a whole bunch of time with those guys, and bought us over Christmas. Been sending saving a bunch of stuff. So I bought us a nice boat. I'm gonna get back. I grew up on on a lake and did a lot of fishing back in the day in Virginia when I grew up, and kind of get back into that with the grandkids and do things. And I don't know, my faith has grown exponentially over the last 15 or 20 years, and I feel like that God's going to lead me in a way where I can hopefully in some manner or other continue to try to make a difference in lives of young people and share my faith and how it's helped mold my life and the whole 9 yards. And hopefully I can find that little niche that gives me a little baseball, a little faith, a little bit of fun, a little bit of something, whatever. I don't want to pigeonhole myself into something. I've been a college coach 39 years and pro guy for 3. It's a great life. I'll tell you what, very, very blessed, and that God let me live this life. It's not all been easy, but it's every bit of it's been a labor of love. Very few people get to do that in life.
Sounds like God's going to be leading you to some babysitting, is what it sounds like.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh yeah. I got to keep my wife happy. She's the happiest nanny in the world right now.
Yeah, so someone's kids are going to want a weekend away, and now Grandpa is all of a sudden available. Is what's going to happen?
Oh yeah, absolutely, no doubt.
Do you know the starting rotation for this weekend's matchup?
I mean, I don't know. We didn't even talk about it coming back last night. I mean, Eichhoff has been throwing on Friday. I would assume, not having 1,000% confirmation, but that we would continue with Fluky on Saturday, and then we basically try to figure out where we're at that point, and go from there. I think eventually, we will end up with a someone that solidifies themselves into the Sunday, try to get a 4 or 5 inning guy that can do that job on Sunday. These two guys coming back will help us tremendously if they're healthy and can do the job. And they'll give us 2 more significant pieces to use. I'll be able to kind of adjust a roll or 2 moving forward once we know they're good.
Well, it's a classic showdown, Coach. You got the number 1 hitting team in the league, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers, against the number 1 pitching team in the league, the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns. I am really excited for this weekend's matchup. Thanks for hopping on Locked On Sunbelt. Best of luck. It should be a fantastic series.
It should be. It should be it should be a great showcase for our entire league, and I look forward to be 3 fantastic games, and we'll see how the chips fall and get out and compete against each other and have some fun.